I once spent hours watching Warren Buffett, not speaking, not teaching, just being. And in that silence, I understood something I had never seen before. It wasn't about stocks or returns or clever strategies. It was about rhythm, about patience, about an energy so calm it bends chaos into opportunity. The world moves fast, Buffett moves slow, and in that difference lies the secret that most people will never see. Everyone studies what Warren Buffett buys. Almost no one studies how he waits. Because the truth is, his wealth wasn't built on risk, it was built on restraint. Buffett's greatest investment isn't in companies, it's in time. Time to think, time to watch, time to let the noise burn itself out. And when the smoke clears, he moves. Most people think intelligence builds wealth. It doesn't. Temperament does. You can be smart and broke, but you can't be patient and poor for long. Buffett's genius isn't in seeing the future, it's in waiting for everyone else to panic about it. He doesn't fight the market, he outlasts it. When I watched him, I noticed something unsettling. He doesn't chase anything, not returns, not attention, not validation. He simply observes, like a man who already knows how the story ends, because he understands a law few people ever realize: money flows towards stillness. If this already makes you rethink what wealth really means, pause for a second and follow rich logic. Because here, we don't study riches, we study rhythm. The market, the economy, even life itself, they all reward one skill above all: the ability to stay calm while others lose their minds. Every panic in history has transferred wealth from the emotional to the patient. It's not timing the market that makes Buffett rich, it's his ability to wait without needing to know. He once said, "The stock market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient." But that line isn't just about stocks, it's about life. Patience is a paradox. It looks like doing nothing, but it's actually the most aggressive move you can make in a chaotic world. Because while everyone else reacts, you're collecting data. You're seeing patterns, you're identifying who's thinking and who's just feeling. And in those moments of silence, clarity compounds faster than any investment. Here's what I learned watching him in silence. Wealth isn't about motion, it's about position. The rich don't chase opportunities, they build fortresses of patience and wait for opportunity to knock. Most people try to predict the storm. Buffett builds an ark and enjoys the rain. That's not luck, that's design. He doesn't waste time on noise, no gossip, no forecasts, no predictions. When asked about market trends, he usually smiles and says, "I don't know and I don't care." That's not ignorance, that's freedom. Freedom from the emotional slavery of needing to be right all the time. Because the truth is, you don't need to be right often to be rich, you just need to be right big and patient enough to wait for it. Buffett spends most of his life waiting for one thing: a moment when everyone else loses discipline. That's when wealth transfers quietly, because the world rewards those who keep their heads while everyone else is losing theirs. Silence in his world isn't weakness, it's surveillance. He studies the psychology of crowds the way others study charts. He doesn't need to predict prices, he predicts reactions. And when people are emotional, they become predictable. That's how he wins, not by chasing opportunity, but by watching it self-destruct. It's easy to mistake silence for passivity. But Buffett's silence is strategic. It's not absence, it's ambush. When you move rarely, your moves matter. They hit harder, they echo longer. He invests not like a trader, but like a philosopher armed with a calculator. He's not gambling on stocks, he's betting on human nature. And human nature is the most predictable market on earth. We repeat the same cycles: greed, fear, denial, hope, over and over, just with different headlines. Buffett's silence isn't because he doesn't care, it's because he's seen this movie before, and he already knows how it ends. Watching him, you realize the market doesn't test your portfolio, it tests your ego. The impatient lose money trying to prove they're smart. The patient win by accepting they're human. Buffett's real genius isn't his intellect, it's his humility. He knows he can't predict. He just positions himself so that when the inevitable happens, he's the one standing still while others fall. If this is starting to change how you think about wealth, like this video and subscribe to Rich Logic. Because this is where emotional noise ends and awareness begins. When Buffett sits in silence, he's not wasting time, He's waiting for asymmetry. That one deal, one moment, one decision that has limited downside and infinite upside. That's why he can hold billions in cash for years. He's not scared, he's waiting. He knows that opportunity is a tide, and you don't catch it by swimming harder. You catch it by knowing when to stand still. Silence gives him the one thing markets can't buy: perspective. Because when you're quiet long enough, you start to hear what others ignore: the rhythm beneath the noise. That rhythm is everything. It tells you when the crowd's confidence is fake, when fear is real, and when value hides under panic. The modern world hates silence. It equates stillness with laziness, patience with weakness. But billionaires like Buffett understand that silence isn't the absence of action. It's the accumulation of power. Every quiet decision compounds. Every ignored distraction saves energy. Every patient move magnifies control. In a world addicted to noise, silence is rebellion. When I watched him in those quiet moments, I realized something profound. He's not competing with anyone. He's competing with time, because while everyone else is trying to win fast, he's trying to win forever. That's why he avoids trends, fads, and hype. They burn bright and die fast. He plants trees that outlive him. That's not just investing. That's immortality through logic. People think wealth is built by brilliance. It's not. It's built by emotional discipline, because emotion makes people predictable, and predictability makes markets profitable for someone else. Buffett simply reversed it. He became the one who profits from other people's reactions. He mastered one of the hardest arts in existence: the ability to do nothing perfectly. In silence, he practices what philosophers call non-reactive intelligence. He lets the world reveal its weakness through overreaction. Because in a world that can't stop talking, the one who listens the longest always wins the conversation. Silence is Buffett's strategy. Patience is his weapon. Discipline is his legacy. And if you look closely, you'll realize he doesn't just invest in companies, he invests in human behavior. He bets on trust, leadership, integrity, traits that survive every recession. Because at the end of the day, markets rise and fall, currencies inflate and collapse, but character compounds forever. So what did I learn watching Warren Buffett in silence? That wealth isn't loud, it doesn't need to prove itself, it doesn't rush, it doesn't fear. It waits. Quietly, confidently, knowing that the world always comes back to those who can stand still while everyone else is running in circles. You can't imitate Buffett by copying his investments. You imitate him by copying his mindset. The ability to be calm in chaos, detached from trends, patient in confusion, and silent when the world screams for reaction. That's not just how you win the market, that's how you win life. In the end, silence isn't the absence of noise, it's the presence of power. And Buffett, sitting quietly while the world spins around him, isn't just watching the game. He's waiting for the world to catch up to him.